Welcome to the next video from Animation Universal. Today, I'll be sharing with you the story of the infamous bald god of war. Make sure to watch until the end because the story is thrilling, dramatic, and filled with suspense. Before we dive into the video, make sure you've subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any interesting and educational content. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, like, and share to support our efforts. Now let's begin the story. At the dawn of the universe, the primordials created Earth and began forming early life. Among them, the primordials were the first gods of the world, and alongside them came the Titans. The two sides clashed in a cataclysmic conflict, giving rise to the first celestial war between the gods. The Furies, goddesses of vengeance. The gods created the Furies, the goddesses of vengeance, including Alecto, Tisiphone, and Megaera, to fight against the Titans. The Erinyes, or Furies, refer to three goddesses in Greek mythology who were later demonized by Christianity. Their duty was to punish the wicked to death, sometimes driving them to suicide. The word Erinyes means those who spread wrath. The names of the Erinyes are Alecto, Megaera, and Tisiphone. They were born from the blood of Uranus, the sky god, and the grandfather of Zeus. They were hideous in appearance, winged women with feathers, multiple arms, and venomous snakes coiled around their waists. They often carried whips and wore long black cloaks resembling funeral attire. They served in Hades's court, punishing the guilty. When they played their lyres, mortals would wither away. They could inflict madness, chaos, and mental destruction, often driving people to murder. They were also capable of spreading disease and famine. Eventually, the Titans were defeated and forced to serve the gods as slaves for centuries. Following this, the gods took control of Mount Olympus and established laws to claim dominion over all souls and matter on Earth, with Zeus reigning supreme over all. Kratos memories. Centuries passed, and the gods created humans solely for their amusement. Over time, Zeus often descended to the mortal world and had an affair with Callisto, a woman from Sparta, resulting in the birth of Kratos and Deimos. Fearing an ancient prophecy that foretold one of his children would have the power to overthrow his throne, Zeus returned and kidnapped Deimos to prevent the prophecy from coming true. The story begins with Kratos' memories as he stands on a high cliff in Greece, cursing himself before plunging into the sea. In the past, Kratos was a Spartan warrior and the commander of a 50-man army. He fought with reckless ferocity, charging into enemies without any strategy, relying more on sheer guts than wits. Kratos' bravery and unparalleled strength always secured his victories, until his army encountered a barbarian horde from the east, numbering in the thousands. Kratos' troops were massacred, and he was driven into a corner. In his desperation, Kratos called out to Ares, the god of war, pleading for salvation in exchange for eternal servitude. Ares heeded Kratos' call and granted him immense power, enabling him to annihilate the barbarian horde on the battlefield. Ares then descended into the deepest depths of the underworld to forge the Blades of Chaos. These twin blades were tempered in the fires of hell, giving their strikes a fierce, fiery aura. The Blades of Chaos were permanently bound to Kratos' arms, becoming an inseparable part of him. Anyone chosen by the god of war to wield the blades could only escape them through death, or if the creator of the blades lost their power. The tragedy of Kratos, killing his own family. Kratos, now a servant of Ares, led his army to conquer new lands with devastating power. The more he wielded the Blades of Chaos, the more his mind was corrupted. He grew increasingly mad, bloodthirsty, and gradually lost his humanity. On one fateful campaign, Kratos led his forces to a village devoted to the worship of Athena. Consumed by bloodlust, he slaughtered everyone in his path, ignoring a warning from a village oracle that his actions would lead to deep regret. Kratos stormed into Athena's temple and massacred everyone inside. When his rage subsided, he was horrified to discover that he had unknowingly killed his wife and young daughter. At that moment, Ares appeared and revealed that he had clouded Kratos' mind to orchestrate this tragedy. It was a final test to sever Kratos from his humanity completely and transform him into an unstoppable warrior. Ares had deliberately placed Kratos' loved ones in the village he ordered Kratos to destroy. Cradling his wife and child's bodies in his arms, consumed by grief and horror, Kratos broke his pact with Ares and vowed revenge. However, shortly after, he was captured by the Furies, the goddesses of vengeance. They brainwashed him and erased his memories of his family's death, imprisoning him for breaking his oath. But with his brutal strength, Kratos escaped, regained his memories, and embarked on a quest to avenge himself against the god of war. The village oracle cursed Kratos, binding the ashes of his family to his skin, giving him the name the Ghost of Sparta. Haunted by relentless nightmares, Kratos was plagued by the memory of his tragic loss. For over a decade, he served the gods, hoping they would support him in his quest for vengeance against Ares. During this time, Kratos undertook numerous perilous tasks, including retrieving Helios, the sun god, descending into the underworld with the sun chariot, rescuing Helios, and completing Athena's challenges. These missions would forge him into a warrior unlike any other, driven by unrelenting rage and a singular purpose: to destroy Ares. Back to the present. Returning to the present, 3 weeks before Kratos threw himself into the abyss, he was adrift at sea. Suddenly, he was attacked by Ares' army, led by a massive hydra. After slaying the creature and mounting its head on the ship's mast, Kratos felt helpless and despairing. He called out to Athena, seeking deliverance. Athena assured him that the gods would not let anyone who served them go unrewarded, but Kratos had one final task to complete. He must eliminate Ares. At that time, the god of war was waging war against the city of Athens, which became Kratos' next destination. Upon arriving in Athens, Kratos met Athena's oracle, who revealed that only the power within Pandora's box could enable a mortal to kill a god. Fearing this artifact, the gods had hidden it in a temple placed on the back of the Titan Kronos. Zeus had cursed Kronos to wander eternally through the desert of lost souls, until his flesh was completely consumed by the sands. Pandora's box was crafted by Hephaestus, the god of blacksmiths, to imprison the demonic powers of the Titans. Originally, it was guarded by the sacred flame atop Mount Olympus, a fire capable of incinerating any living being who dared touch it. To protect the box, Hephaestus created Pandora from the sacred flame itself. However, realizing Zeus intended to seize Pandora, Hephaestus deceived the thunder god, convincing him to place the box on Kronos' back, believing it to be the safest place as no one would think to search there. Guided by Athena, Kratos overcame countless traps within Pandora's temple. He climbed for 3 days and nights on the back of the colossal Titan before finally reaching the box. But Ares, who had been watching Kratos' every move, struck first. From Athens, Ares hurled a massive spear into the temple, pinning Kratos to the wall and mortally wounding him. The Harpies then seized Pandora's box and delivered it to Ares, leaving Kratos to bleed to death. Pandora's box. Kratos fell into the underworld, where he struggled to stave off death. Miraculously, the ghost of Sparta discovered a rope leading back to the world of the living. This rope was created by a mysterious old gravedigger near Athena's temple, who told Kratos that his mission was far from over and that other gods, not just Athena, silently supported him. After a long journey, Kratos returned to Athens just as Ares was boasting about his triumph with Pandora's box in hand. Taking advantage of his enemy's moment of carelessness, Kratos seized the box and opened it for the first time in over 1,000 years. The immense power within surged into Kratos, elevating him to a near-divine state. His body grew in size and strength, making him capable of battling Ares. The battle began evenly matched, but Ares displayed his godly dominance by using his powers to banish Kratos to another dimension. There, Kratos was forced to relive the harrowing night when his wife and daughter were slaughtered. This time, however, he stood frozen, unable to intervene. Illusions of enemies attacked his family, and although Kratos fought them off with the blades of chaos, the tragedy ultimately replayed itself when Ares struck, leaving Kratos powerless to stop it. Ares taunted Kratos, reminding him that he had willingly sacrificed his life and honor for a second chance at life in his quest to become the greatest warrior ever. Now, for betraying the god of war, Kratos would face the ultimate punishment. Ares wrenched the blades of chaos from Kratos' hands and used them to kill the illusions of his wife and daughter once more, recreating the tragedy of that fateful night. Crushed by despair, Kratos collapsed, awaiting Ares to deliver the final blow. With no weapon and no will to fight, Kratos' fate seemed sealed, yet the gods were not done with him. At the last moment, Kratos awakened and dodged Ares' attack. Spotting a sword that served as a relic in Athena's temple, he seized it. The ordinary blade transformed into the blade of the gods, imbuing Kratos with the strength to challenge Ares once more. In a climactic battle, Kratos ultimately slew the god of war. Though Kratos fulfilled the god's mission, he found no solace. Athena informed him that the crimes of his past were unforgivable, and that no mortal or god could absolve him. Forever cursed by the nightmares of his past sins, Kratos was left in despair. With no purpose or loved ones left in the world, he climbed a high mountain and threw himself into the sea, seeking an end to his torment. However, as Kratos fell, his body was suddenly lifted to the summit of Mount Olympus. There, Athena appeared in radiant glory, telling him that the gods never abandoned those who served them. As a reward for his deeds, Kratos was granted the vacant throne of the god of war, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his life, a chapter destined to unleash countless calamities in the future. The new god of war. For over 13 years after defeating Ares and becoming the new god of war, Kratos remained tormented and haunted by the crimes of his past. The gods of Olympus failed to uphold their promise to free him from his curse and treated him with disdain, viewing him as nothing more than a savage mortal. Frustrated and enraged by their disrespect, Kratos' fury burned brighter than ever. He quickly proved to be far more fearsome than Ares, leading the Spartan army on a campaign of conquest and destruction across Greece. The gods began to lose patience with him. When the Spartan army continued its assault on Rhodes, Kratos, in a moment of excitement, decided to join the battle himself, using his divine powers. Athena appeared to warn Kratos, pleading with him to stop. She explained that she was trying to protect him from the wrath of the other Olympian gods. Kratos, however, ignored her warning and descended to the mortal realm to fight alongside the Spartan army. Upon his arrival in Rhodes, a massive eagle suddenly appeared, siphoning away much of Kratos' divine power. The once mighty god of war was reduced to a mortal-sized form. Kratos believed that Athena had betrayed him. The eagle then transferred the stolen power into the Colossus of Rhodes, bringing the enormous statue to life and turning it against Kratos. Still retaining some remnants of his divine strength, Kratos fiercely fought against the Colossus and the Rhodesian army. At that moment, Zeus appeared and offered Kratos the Blade of Olympus. The blade allowed Kratos to defeat the Colossus of Rhodes by draining all his remaining divine power, fully reverting him to a mortal. Although Kratos succeeded in destroying the statue, a massive falling arm from the Colossus crushed him, gravely injuring his now mortal body. The eagle then revealed itself to be Zeus. The king of the gods retrieved the Blade of Olympus and presented Kratos with an ultimatum: beg for forgiveness and continue serving the gods, or die. Kratos, unyielding as ever, refused to kneel, angering Zeus, who obliterated the entire Spartan army and struck Kratos down, killing him. Kratos' soul descended to the underworld once again, seemingly ending his story. However, Titan Gaia, the embodiment of Mother Earth and one of the primordial deities in Greek mythology, intervened. As the ancestor of the Olympian gods, she healed Kratos' wounds and freed him from the clutches of the underworld. The ghost of Sparta had been granted a second chance, setting the stage for a greater confrontation with Olympus itself. Kratos and the Three Sisters of Fate. Gaia was not entirely benevolent when she decided to aid Kratos in his quest to fight against Zeus for revenge. She suggested that Kratos seek out the Sisters of Fate, also known as the Moirai, three primordial sisters born from Erebus and Nyx. These sisters possess the power to control time and the fate of all titans, gods, and mortals, with the ultimate goal of reversing time to prevent Zeus from killing the god of war. Escaping from the underworld, Kratos encountered the last surviving Spartan warrior and ordered him to return to Sparta to rally the troops. Meanwhile, Kratos rode the winged horse Pegasus on his journey. While on Pegasus, Kratos flew to the lair of the Titan, where Pegasus was trapped by the Titan Typhon. Kratos was forced to find a way to free the horse. Along the way, he encountered the Titan Prometheus in human form, enduring physical punishment from Zeus for bringing fire to humanity. Kratos ended Prometheus's suffering by casting him into a fiery abyss, ending his life. With his newfound powers, Kratos freed Pegasus from Typhon and continued his journey to the island of creation. Upon reaching the island, the god of war began exploring a temple and heard Gaia recount Zeus's past. Gaia revealed that when she called upon her Titan children to sever Uranus's genitals, only Cronus dared to take on the task. After freeing the Cyclopes and Hecatoncheires, Cronus clashed with them and banished them to Tartarus, the underworld. This act angered Gaia, as the Cyclopes and Hecatoncheires were also her children. She prophesied that Cronus would one day be overthrown by his own offspring. Cronus married his sister Rhea and fathered 5 children: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Poseidon, and Hades. Fearing Gaia's prophecy, Cronus swallowed all 5. When Zeus was about to be born, Rhea sought Gaia's guidance. Gaia instructed her to travel to Crete to give birth to Zeus and wrap a stone in swaddling clothes to present to Cronus as a substitute. Cronus was deceived and swallowed the stone. Later, Zeus was guided by the goddess Metis on how to rescue his siblings. With Metis's potion, Rhea tricked Cronus into drinking it, causing him to vomit up everything in his stomach, including the stone disguised as Zeus. The 6 siblings then united against Cronus, who was ultimately imprisoned in the depths of Tartarus. Zeus was brought to the island of creation and raised by Gaia. Upon reaching adulthood, he became a powerful god and vowed to exact vengeance on Cronus and the Titans. On this island, Kratos repeatedly encountered numerous obstacles in his journey. The journey to the Sisters of Fate. First, Kratos encountered Theseus, the guardian of the giant iron horses on the island. As a loyal servant of Zeus, Theseus refused to allow Kratos to approach the Sisters of Fate, claiming that Kratos was no longer divine and could easily be defeated. Theseus paid a brutal price for standing in Kratos' way, as the Spartan warrior mercilessly killed him. As Kratos ventured deeper into the island, he came across an old enemy, the barbarian king, who had once nearly killed Kratos if not for his plea to Ares for salvation. Now resurrected, the barbarian king sought the Sisters of Fate to travel back in time and change his destiny. A fierce battle ensued, but the barbarian king met his demise at Kratos' hands for the second time. Not long after, Kratos encountered Perseus, a hero who was meant to slay Medusa and use her head to save the princess he loved. However, fate took a different course when Kratos killed Medusa instead, and Perseus's princess was lost. Unable to accept this harsh reality, Perseus sought the Sisters of Fate in hopes of rescuing his beloved. Believing Kratos to be a challenge from the sisters to prove his worth, Perseus attacked him relentlessly. Unfortunately for Perseus, he too fell to the god of war. Continuing his journey, Kratos met Icarus, who had seemingly lost his mind. The two fought, and during the struggle, they plummeted into an abyss. Kratos tore off Icarus's wings to escape safely, leaving Icarus to his death. In the depths of the abyss, Kratos encountered Atlas, the Titan condemned by Zeus to forever bear the weight of the earth. Initially, Atlas intended to kill Kratos, but upon realizing that the Spartan no longer served the gods and sought vengeance against Zeus, Atlas changed his stance. He reminisced about the Great War, a battle between the gods and the Titans, where Zeus wielded the blade of Olympus to claim victory and banished the Titans to eternal imprisonment. Atlas then allowed Kratos to continue his journey. As Kratos pressed on, Athena appeared in a vision to warn him that there were more important matters than revenge, and that the Titans aiding him were untrustworthy. She also suggested that Zeus's actions, regardless of his motives, were justified in his eyes. Kratos, however, ignored her warnings. Soon after, Kratos encountered a mysterious enemy, only to discover, just as he was about to strike the final blow, that it was the Spartan warrior he had sent to Sparta for reinforcements earlier. The warrior revealed that Zeus had completely destroyed Sparta, leaving him as the sole survivor. This revelation pushed Kratos' rage to its peak. At that moment, the colossal Kraken emerged, only to meet a gruesome end at the hands of the enraged god of war. Kratos then used a phoenix to fly to the Temple of the Fates. Inside, he faced the first Sister of Fate, Lachesis, who declared that everything was preordained, from the Titans' defeat to Kratos' inevitable death at her hands. In the midst of their duel, the second Sister of Fate, Atropos, intervened, pulling Kratos back in time to his final battle with Ares in an attempt to alter his fate. However, Kratos defeated both sisters and continued his pursuit to Clotho, the final Sister of Fate. After killing her, Kratos used her loom to return to the moment of Zeus's betrayal at Rhodes. At this critical moment, Kratos from the future intervened to prevent Zeus from killing his past self. The two clashed in a fierce battle, during which Kratos pretended to surrender to lure Zeus into a trap. Just as he was about to kill Zeus, Athena intervened and was accidentally mortally wounded by the blade of Olympus. Zeus escaped, and before dying, Athena revealed that Zeus was Kratos' father. With his hatred for Zeus now greater than ever, Kratos traveled back in time to the Great War, bringing the Titans of that era to the present to aid him in his battle against the gods of Olympus. The stage was set for an epic, earth-shattering confrontation that would signal the end of an era. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any exciting and insightful videos. Thank you very much, and goodbye for now. See you next time.